Let's look at our business, the Greasy, Grimy Gopher Guts Soup Company, and see how we did on last business day. So here are our expenses, what it cost to make the soup. And here's what we got. We got $20 in cash and $30 in checks. So our total income is going to be a sum. So we make our sum, so equal our sum. And what do we want to add up? We want to add up in column B, gopher guts, monkey meat, etc. So we say sum from B2. Okay, so we have sum from B2 all the way down to B7. Say, okay, we spent $44 on ingredients. Now let's look at our expenses. So we have the $20 or profit. I've got it mixed up. So we have this one actually needed to go down here. And you see how it didn't really work? So we're going to have to change the, so when we moved it down, it changed. So we had B3 to B8. So we'd say, no, it was the sum from B2 to B7. And there we've got our expenses at $44. Now let's do our income. So once again, we're going to say equals sum. And we're going to add up what's in 11. And maybe we could even just pull that down into 12, 11, let's see if that works, 12. So you can do it that way. So see how I just used the cursor to make my range there. B11, B12, there's our profit. So we brought in money, but we paid out money. Now if your parents paid for it, great, right? So it seems like it's all profit. But of course, that's not how a business works. So how do we calculate the profit or loss? So we're going to say whatever is in B14, take away, so the money that came in, take away what we spent in B15. Okay, so value in B14 minus the value in B15. So we made $6 profit. Okay. And we'll talk more about what we actually made or lost in the future. Now I've copied over the data to a new data sheet called Simplest Loss. So let's suppose that, in fact, people just weren't interested in greasy, grimy gopher guts on that day. And so instead, you only got $10 worth of checks and you only got 5 cents worth of cash. And now you see all of a sudden you have minus 33. So this is a loss here. And in sometimes you'll see it in parentheses in financial statements. So you see, it's also possible to lose money. So we spent more on our ingredients than we made. Now let's look at a more complicated example. Suppose that we bought a lot of gopher guts, but we didn't use it all. And so in this case, what we'll do is we'll say, well, how much did things cost per pound? And then how many pounds do we use? So let's look at our cost per pound. So to get that, we take the money divided by the pounds. So we'll use a calculation and we'll say whatever's in B2 divided by whatever's in C2. Okay, so we take the money divided by how many pounds, and that'll give us some money per pound. For example, 100 divided by 5 should be 20. And it looks good. So we'll propagate that formula down. Okay, so in each of them we're taking the money divided by the pounds, we're getting cost per pound. So let's say that altogether we use quite a few of the gopher guts. And so in fact we used 15 pounds, so we used several bags. And of the monkey meat we used 2 bags, so we used 20 pounds. And of the birdie's feet, well, we didn't use quite so much of that, so we only used 4 pounds of birdie's feet. Of the eyeballs, oh, a lot of those, they go a long way, so we just used 3 pounds of that. And of the blood, well, we needed a lot of that, so we used 12 pounds of the blood. And sugar, well, took a lot of sweetening, so we used 35 pounds of that. So now, what was the cost based on these pounds? Take the cost per pound and multiply by how many pounds we used. Okay? So in F2, we say equals cost D2 star for times E2. Okay, so what's in D2? Pounds times what's in E2? The number of pounds used. So how much does it cost for a pound? How many pounds did I use? So $20 a pound times 15. So we're expecting to see 300. And we get our 300 there. And let's pull down our formula and we see how much. All right, now it turns out that we sold a lot of bowls of this. So we invited other classrooms to come. And we invited enough people that we had 100, and some people ate 2 or 3 bowls. It was so delicious. So we had 155 bowls sold. And we were surprised at what we could charge. So we we found out we could charge $7.50 a bowl. So you see how this one is not being shown as cash, but if we just go up and click the $sign, we change it. Now, how much total sales do we expect? So we're going to multiply the 155 bowls. Now, we don't want that to be there, so we're going to format this back to a number and just automatically 155. So 155 bowls, $7.50 a bowl, so we're going to multiply. So we go to total sales, and we'll start with an equal sign. We'll say whatever's in here, so whatever is in B11, times whatever is in C11. Okay, so we expect, well, 7 times 100 is 700, 7 times 50 is 350. So we spent 1,050, and then another half, so 1,200, 1,300, and we get 1,160. All right, so that will be our total income. So whatever's in E11. Okay, so we'll say equals E11. Now, total expenses, we want to add up these various costs here. Okay, so we're going to say equals, add them up, sum of F2. Okay, so from this one all the way to F7. Okay, so we see how that, we're going to add these up. So equals the sum of F2 to F7. 869. And now for our profit and loss, let's do the same thing. So let's say equals B14 take away B15. Okay. So why don't you work on these 3 sheets, and we'll do some more with this in preparation for you to get your business up and running, and in order to tell your investors how much they should invest.